You are running hard every single session and somehow getting slower. Let that sink in for a second. Most runners who come to me with that problem share one thing in common. They are proud of it. They brag about how destroyed they felt after Tuesday's run. They wear the soreness like a badge of honor. And that, right there,
Subscribe to the channel! Click the button and subscribe now. Don't miss out, subscribe today!
is exactly why they are stuck. Not their fitness, not their shoes, not their training plan, their belief system, the no pain, no gain mentality that the fitness industry, drilled into an entire generation of athletes, is actively sabotaging your running. And today, I am going to show you the physiology that proves it. Not opinion, not philosophy. Cold, hard science that explains why grinding yourself into the ground is keeping you exactly where you are. Pause. Before you click away thinking this is some soft, feel-good message about taking it easy, understand this. This video is going to be uncomfortable because I am going to challenge something you have probably believed your whole athletic life. Let me ask you an honest question. When was the last time you went for a run and thought, that was almost too easy? If you cannot remember, that is the problem. That is not a sign of dedication. That is a sign that you do not understand what actually makes you faster. You have been confusing effort with progress. They are not the same thing. They have never been the same thing. Here is the reality check. Your body has 3 distinct systems that determine how fast and how far you can run. The first is your VO2 max. Think of it as the size of your engine. It is the maximum amount of oxygen your body can use during intense exercise. A bigger engine means more potential power. But here is what nobody tells you. Most recreational runners are already training that system. In fact, they are overtraining it. Every run becomes a VO2 max session because they go out too hard. And when you constantly redline an engine, it does not get bigger. It breaks down. The second system is your lactate threshold. This is the engine's durability. The point at which lactate starts accumulating in your muscles faster than your body can clear it. Once you cross that threshold, you are on borrowed time. Your legs turn to concrete, your form collapses, your pace drops off a cliff. Elite runners have an exceptional ability to sustain effort right at that threshold for long periods. Most recreational runners blow past it in the first mile because they go out too fast. The third system is running economy, your fuel efficiency. 2 runners with identical VO2 max scores can have dramatically different performances based solely on how efficiently their bodies convert oxygen into forward movement. Wasted motion, inefficient breathing, poor mechanics, all of it burns extra fuel for the same output. Pense nisso. You have been neglecting 2 of those 3 systems every single week because you spend all your time in that uncomfortable middle zone. Not easy enough to build aerobic efficiency, not hard enough to actually stimulate your lactate threshold, just hard enough to feel like you worked out. That zone has a name in exercise science. Researchers call it junk miles. I call it the progress killer. Here is the principle that changed everything for me and for every runner I have coached. The world's best endurance athletes, marathon world record holders, Olympic medalists, the people you watch on race day and think are from another species. They follow what is called the 80-20 rule. 80% of their weekly training is done at a pace that feels almost embarrassingly easy. 20% is done at genuinely hard efforts. That is it. No secrets, no magic supplement, no special track workout. 80% easy, 20% hard. And virtually every recreational runner does the opposite. Or worse, does 100% of everything at that miserable medium effort that trains nothing specifically. When you run, easy. genuinely easy conversational pace where you feel slightly guilty about how slow you're going. You are building mitochondrial density. Mitochondria are the energy factories inside your muscle cells. More of them means your body can produce more energy aerobically, which means you can run faster before needing to rely on that glycolytic system that produces lactate. You are building the infrastructure, the highway, and you cannot rush infrastructure. It takes weeks of consistent, low-intensity work. Every time you run too hard, you're tearing up the road you just paved. Stop. I need you to be honest with yourself right now. Have you ever felt that sensation on a hard run where you just cannot get enough air? Where your lungs are burning and you feel like you are suffocating? Here is something that will change how you run forever. That feeling is not caused by a lack of oxygen. It is caused by an accumulation of carbon dioxide. Your body's drive to breathe is triggered almost entirely by CO2 levels, not O2 levels. When you run hard, CO2 builds up faster than your respiratory system can expel it, and your brain interprets that as a distress signal. Understanding this changes everything about how you manage effort during a run. The fix is mechanical. You need to get better at expelling CO2, not sucking in more oxygen. Forced exhalations, actively contracting your diaphragm and abdominal muscles to push air out, are the most underused technique in recreational running. Most people breathe passively on their exhale, letting the lungs just deflate on their own. That leaves stale air in your lungs with every breath cycle. Practice forceful, complete exhales on your easy runs, and you will notice your perceived effort dropping within days. And then there is rhythmic breathing. A 3-2 pattern. Inhale for 3 foot strikes, exhale for 2. Keeps you synchronized to your cadence, prevents a single leg from always taking impact at the bottom of your exhale when your core is most relaxed, and naturally regulates your breathing rate to match your effort. Elite runners do this instinctively. You can learn it deliberately. Now let's talk about the actual training. If you want to improve, you need to use 3 specific workout types strategically. And stop treating every run like the same generic effort. The first is the tempo run. These are your lactate threshold sessions. You run at approximately 85 to 90% of your maximum effort. A pace where you can still speak a sentence, but you would much rather not. These runs are typically 20 to 40 minutes at that sustained effort. They teach your body to run faster before hitting that lactate cliff. Once a week, that is it. Not every other day. Once. The second is long intervals. Think 800-meter to mile-length repetitions at or slightly above your 5K race pace. These actually challenge your VO2 max and teach your cardiovascular system to recover quickly between hard efforts. These belong in your 20%. They are demanding. They require proper warm-up, and they require actual recovery between sessions. One of these per week, often alternating with your tempo run rather than stacking them. The third, and this is the one most runners completely ignore, is the long, easy run. Ridiculous how undervalued this workout is. A long run at a genuinely easy pace, done weekly, is the single greatest driver of aerobic development available to a recreational runner. Not the hard speed session, not the punishing hill repeats, the long, boring, easy run where you are ticking off miles at a pace that your running partners judge you for. This is where mitochondrial density is built. This is where fat oxidation improves. This is where your body learns to be efficient across distance. And because most runners do it too fast, they turn their best aerobic development tool into a junk mile generator. If you commit to 8 weeks of this framework, genuinely easy running for 80% of your volume, 1 tempo session, 1 interval session, and 1 long, easy run per week, you will run a faster race than you have ever run before. Not because you suffered more, because you finally trained intelligently. Here is your aha moment. Every runner who has ever told me they plateau, who has ever said they are training hard but getting nowhere, when I look at their training log, they have never actually run easy. Their easy days are medium. Their medium days are hard. Their hard days are survival. Everything is stacked in that junk zone. The most common response when I finally have them run a genuine Zone 2 session for the first time is embarrassment. They feel like they are barely moving. Their pace is a full 2 minutes per mile slower than their normal easy run. And then 6 weeks later, they come back, and those embarrassing paces have become their new comfortable pace because they finally let their aerobic system develop instead of constantly interrupting the AU process with unnecessary stress. Be honest with yourself. Which category are you in right now? Because if you have been running consistently for over a year and you have not gotten meaningfully faster, the answer is almost certainly not that you need to run harder. The answer is that you need to run smarter. That is the real no pain, no gain truth. The pain you think is building you is actually stalling you, and the easy miles you have been skipping are the ones that would have changed everything. Now, before you reconsider everything about your next run, and you should, here is something I need to ask you. What if the biggest mistake you are making has nothing to do with your pace or your breathing? What if it is something you are doing before or after your run that is quietly destroying your progress week after week, and you have absolutely no idea it is even happening? 90% of runners make this exact mistake, and it has nothing to do with speed. Next week, I will show you exactly what it is and how to fix it in less than 10 minutes a day. If you want to be there when that drops, hit subscribe. Not for me, for the runner you are trying to become.